been nothing but radio silence from Epic companies in relation to their possible impending bankruptcy.
Many renters tell us now they're starting to see their surroundings fall into disrepair without knowing what might come next. Valley News Team's Gabriel Osler has the story.
This is how high the grass is in this vacant lot at the intersection of 38th Avenue and 56th Street. And this is how it is right across the road. The only difference is this grass is supposed to be maintained by Epic companies. Since the rumors broke of Epic's impending bankruptcy, only these emails have trickled out to various tenants renting at Epic properties, saying those properties have been sold to various other entities. That lack of communication means even though the residents of Arbor Courts should have ABT property management taking over soon, they've been left in the dark while things have slowly gotten much worse in the past few months. Whistleblowers looking to remain anonymous so as not to jeopardize their rental status have been flooding our inbox with complaints. Wildly overgrown grass, pet waste bins left unattended, trees knocked over, key fobs that don't work, the list goes on. Perhaps most perplexing is this Arbor Courts building that has been vacant for 3 years following a roof collapse. Now, abandoned heavy machinery, untouched building supplies. ABT has declined to issue a formal comment, so we cannot officially confirm its acquisition of these properties. But one thing's for sure, if and when they're in charge, they've got a lot of work to do. In Fargo, Gabriel Osler, Valley News Live.
Those emails we've acquired say ABT is supposed to assume ownership of the lights in West Fargo, or at least Envy at the lights, and Arbor Courts on June 1st.
Again, that has not been confirmed by either company.